courtesy, and he decided not to give me the courtesy of a phone call when he swore to God that Sunday night while we all went into production to give you last Tuesday night's television show when I said if you're not going to be in the arena, if you're going to fuck the audience that made you a star in this country, let me know and I'll handle it on an interview. And he said, I swear to God, I'll be there.
We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper.
Street Smark audio. Street Smark audio. Proudly brings to you. Three-way. The Scourge of the ECW. Das Fools. Starring with Double P. Hot Stuff Hollywood. Hot Stuff Hollywood.
The following announcement has been paid for.
Street Smark audio.
Official.StreetSmarks@gmail.com is how you would contact us. Listen to us right here exclusively on YouTube, Street Smark Audio, or fuck with us. Official.StreetSmarks on SoundCloud and IG, Street Smark fan page on Facebook, Street_Smarks on Twitter, ECW Memories with the Goose. This is the Extreme Retro Review for ECW, April 8th, 1995. This is the Three-Way Dance. It's Extreme Retro Review number 118. You here with the Broad Street Cyber Bullies. So in an interesting tidbit, my co-conspirator looked at me with a quizzical visage. And he said that he didn't hear that part actually on the tape. But alas, the Scourge of the IWC, your author of Extreme Omnipotence, got that clip from the rise and fall of ECW, which we will be reviewing in a flash forward. Stay tuned.
Okay.
So as I pass it to you, as you passed me the stick, what were your thoughts and views of this show?
My thoughts and views of this particular show, as I clear my throat, excuse me. Overall, it was a very good and enjoyable show. I liked it a whole lot. There were a few things that got in my craw. For one, there was an oddly placed jobber match in the middle of the card. Typically, they have their jobbers at the beginning. You joked off air that it was a cool down, but we'll get into it as we go through the card. That like, oh, there was a cool down for this match, and then another thing that pissed me off a little bit was that the World Championship match was clipped to shit, as you called it, which is, to me as a wrestling purist, is very offensive. It was bad enough now this is like 15 million pay-per-views in a row where their world title match is not going on last, but now it's a clip show with your two biggest stars in the freaking company and shit. You clip that shit. But outside of that, I enjoyed it. Thought it was an awesome show.
So we open up with Joey at the Nest. He's alluding to a change in the main event. Stay tuned. We're ringside with Joey, and he calls down Raven, Stevie, and the Broad Street Bullies. It's clipped, but the gist is since the Bullies suck ass. If they don't win tonight, they'll be fired by Raven and out of ECW. So the Pit Bulls rush the ring in the first match. Complete squidage. Super bomb on Tony the Hitman Stetson, the fashion plate of ECW, and the Bullies are out of ECW for the dud.
Yes.
Your thoughts of the match?
I was a little confused as to why. For a split second, then I kind of like, oh, Pitbulls must gonna be joining the Ravens flock or whatever. Then I'm like, but what about Jason? So anyway, all that shit went through my mind and shit. But my initial thoughts was good riddance to the Broad Street Bullies and shit. They had their run. I've never really cared too much about them except for comedic sake. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you call Tony the Hitman Stetson the fashion plate of ECW. Hell, the fact that his nickname is the Hitman and he looks like a 6 foot pile of shit and shit. You know what I'm saying? It looks like he works at a bakery. And he samples his work a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I won't miss him. Good job by the Pitbulls. And then I was even more pumped for Team Raven after what proceeded after the match.
While you were giving your eulogy for the Broad Street Bullies,
Rest in peace.
I thought about an earlier Extreme Retro review where they first broke up back in 1994. And they cut a Johnny Hotbody promo, and he's, burying Tony Stetson on the mic, and he's going, Tony Stetson, the guy who knows wrestling A to B. Shout out 94 Foods.
Oh, man.
You get better.
Oh, thank goodness.
The Pitbulls cut a promo. They're calling Raven their new master. I said, damn, Jason.
Yeah.
Raven then sends them away. And then Stevie brings up some chick that Raven used to date at summer camp.
And apparently Raven did not like this chick.
Raven then called her a fat, disgusting piece of hell. And called it the worst 3 months of his life.
Yeah.
Stevie brought her to the arena. So Raven backhands her.
Straight, I like it's too few things where that happens in wrestling where I'd be like, dang, that might have been a little too much and shit. And when he backhanded the shit out of Stevie Richards and shit, like he made Raven meatloaf the 12th day in a row and shit for dinner, and he was sick of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn, why you had to do Stevie like that, Raven?
If you let Stevie explain, she's not a fat piece of disgusting hell.
Yeah, let's hear him out, Raven. Dang.
Stevie then presents Beulah McGillicuddy. Joey then tries to roast Raven by saying, you dated a girl named Beulah. Raven gives him one look. Joey bitches the fuck up. So Beulah comes out in complete skank mode for the next match. Your thoughts of Beulah's first appearance?
My first thought of Beulah's appearance was I was looking at her throat, trying to see if there was an Adam's apple. Then I was trying to see her hands and shit. And then once I stopped trying to look for all that shit, then I was like, Beulah's pretty hot. And then after that, yeah, I don't know. She's hot.
Stay tuned.
Oh, no.
So we have Tommy Dreamer versus Raven. I said promos, pull-aparts, gauntlet matches with the Broad Street Bullies. Finally, we get the first match 4 months later.
It's a hell of a build-up.
Raven jumpstarts the heat. Tommy with the long comeback. It's pretty much back and forth brawl throughout the arena. But then they get back into the ring for the finish. And, Stevie's over there macking on Beulah. Beulah's like, oh, whatever, I'm with Raven. So Stevie puts his arm around Beulah. And she's kind of tolerating it. But she's still like, I'm with Raven. So Stevie leans in for a kiss. And this is coincidentally at the same time that Tommy Dreamer has the upper hand on Raven. He completely gigged throughout the match. So, Tommy looks over at Beulah, who is now being strangled by Stevie Richards. Very comically, I might add. It's over-exaggerated as fuck.
Oh, shit. Oh, my goodness.
So Tommy Dreamer morphs into Sting, rolls out, and goes to Captain Save-A-Ho.
Oh, yeah.
Beulah then turns around and sprays Tommy Dreamer with hairspray. Tommy, who is now blinded, walks right into a super kick from Stevie, who is now holding his face and neck area to bend over and walk into the perfectly timed DDT on the floor from Raven.
Oh, man.
Raven rolls him into the ring, putts jobs again. I give it 3 stars. HW thoughts.
I gave it 4 turnbuckles out of 4 for the finish alone and shit. Just how they found. Well, it's no found. It's no secret that Tommy Dreamer's one weakness is he is a Captain Save-A-Ho. So they picked the perfect scheme, a damsel in distress, because you know Tommy's going to go for that every single time. I guess he thinks that's a way to get laid or something. But look where it gets you. Look at you! Look at you! So, you know what I'm saying? Well executed by Raven. Well done. And Tommy Dreamer, that's what you get. And I bet all you Captain Save-A-Hoes out of the 162 that's listening right now, sitting there and reliving that feeling where you done looked out for some bitch and then somehow you end up looking stupid because she fucking another nigga. You get super kicked in the face and even flow DDT'd on a concrete floor and shit. Don't say these hoes.
So we have Ron Simmons, the All-American, versus Mikey Whipwreck in a match. Simmons tries to let Mikey out of the match immediately, but Mikey's got guts. He takes the ass whipping of a lifetime. There's a couple of hope spots to the balls, but he gets chokeslammed. Then Finnegoof gets chokeslammed. Finnegoof rolls up and calls for the DQ. I gave it 1 star for Finnegoof alone. HW thoughts?
Oh man, I had a morbid enjoyment of this match just because Ron Simmons did the choke slam to 911 and shit, and that tickled the hell out of me. And I'm glad what preceded the DQ happened and shit.
911 gets chokeslammed by the All-American Ron Simmons.
Oh shit.
Geeks come in to help 911. I bumped it up to a 2. But the Geeks get chokeslammed because 911 is a bully.
Yep.
Hartgood gets another chokeslam because he's an idiot.
Oh man, you want choke slamming Ron Simmons like that?
Paulie grabs the microphone. He stuffs it into 911's face. 911 then calls Ron Simmons a piece of shit, and he's gonna fuck him up. I said, tough talk. You're right. For a motherfucker who just got chokeslammed.
I said, like, you had your chance, 911. He was right there. And he chokeslammed you.
911 graduated from the Terry Funk School of being a bully because he's terrible. Moving on.
Oh, shit.
Joey's in the ring with the Crippler. The Crippler and the Shooter are here tonight to show why they are the best in the world. Taz caused the Shooter to lose his television title. He has commended Taz. At least he showed up. Not like that pussy Sabu.
Pew, 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 pew. Shots fired.
Who's hiding halfway across the world. He always told people that Sabu was a pussy. So if Taz wants to come out to prove his manhood, all he has to do is come out and face the crippler. Taz comes down.
Like a G.
They fight till the shooter jumps in for the 2-on-1. None other than Rick Steiner, of all people, makes the save.
Oh man, who is now the third wrestler-sized wrestler in ECW, behind 911 and Ron Simmons.
Shout out Mr. Hughes.
We miss you.
So we have a television title match. Two Cold Scorpio versus the debuting Eddie Guerrero.
He was lying, he was getting his cheat on for sure.
Your thoughts?
When this match was first going on and shit, I got a feeling that this would probably be the show stealer / match of the night and shit. By its conclusion, this might be match of the year candidate.
So let me start off by saying that Eddie's moves had that snap to them. And that is something that is an intangible that's sorely lacking in ECW. You know what I'm saying? I say that to say that the punches have more effect. You know what I'm saying? The chair shots resonate more. The body slams, the flips, they're subdued. You still have a sense of sinking in the move. Now, Eddie's moves, by contrast, are very fast. You know what I'm saying? And this is a match that highlights how fast Two Cold Scorpio can really go.
Right.
So it complements him. Needless to say that they both wrestled in New Japan and broke into the dojo at the same time.
Oh, okay. Little fun fact to it.
Eddie is also known how to pace matches. So even though they have that snap, the moves that are real moves sink in even more. Because you got move, big move. Move, big move. So you got the oohs and ahs, you know what I'm saying? Eddie, for example, thumbs Two Cold Scorpio in the eye. Then a few moves later, hits a tornado DDT. Seamlessly. And it's like, you want to boot a motherfucker, but the thumb in the eye is so comical, you pop for it. But he's clearly doing heel shit.
Oh, yeah, all day, you know, said he's getting the cheating down pack of his lie cheating steel gimmick and shit.
The only thing I really discounted for was Two Cold Scorpio pulling up on the tumbleweed.
Oh man, after he tried to pin the motherfucker like 4 or 5 times and shit, you finally get him down and shit and you gotta pull him up and shit.
It made no sense.
And did you hear Joey trying to sell it as fucking Guerrero kicking out and shit? Finding the strength to kick out. I'm like, what planet is that a kick out?
There's no recourse for how, like, Joey trying to compensate for Two Cold Scorpio's match flow and progress should just show you that the motherfucker is pretty much like the Tracy McGrady of professional wrestling because he's flashy, and that's it.
Oh man, yeah, that match story, psychology-wise, that's the word I'm looking for. Psychology-wise, that made 0 sense right there, shit.
Eddie wins with a reversal roll-up and new television champion. I gave it 3.5. They do the tease, but they handshake, and Joey puts over Love Machine Art Bar. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Yeah, Too Cold tried to steal him a little limelight again at the end and shit. Trying to figure out why the fuck was Eddie Guerrero raising his hand and shit. But
I think it's because of his first match in the States, you know what I'm saying, since Art Bar died. That's the only thing I can think of, because that's the only reason why he won the belt.
oh man.
Stay tuned for the Eddie Guerrero title reign. It's boring. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Oh, that's a shame.
So next we have Battle of the Bad Breed.
Oh boy.
The shaving. It starts outside. I ask you hot stuff. Who gigs first? Ian or Axel?
Yes.
They both still have their Bad Breed tights on. Terrible. Axel is still awful. Terrible. It's Ian who gigs first. I said who gigs first on camera. I don't consider a clothesline or a hammer to the arm wrestling moves.
A hammer to the arm.
Ian then counters my pros with a swinging neck breaker.
Oh shit.
Axel with a suplex on the bleachers. LOL, what a retard.
There you go, hating ass Fooge.
Back in, Ian misses a second rope elbow. Axel counters, cheering him in the face for the win. Negative infinity! It's even awful with Bad Breed bong binoculars on. Your thoughts of the match?
Mostly dreadful. I did like the run and steel chair to the face and shit for the finish. I don't know why, it just reminded me of some video game shit. You know what I'm saying? That I would try in some desperation and shit, and so I got a thrill out of that. I just hate that at the end of it, Joey immediately said like it was like Axel wasn't even done getting off cutting motherfuckers' hair and shit. Joey talking about how the feud is going to continue. I'm like, first, how do you know? Then second of all, I'm like, oh shit, more of this shit. But you did say that they fight forever and shit. So I guess it's the truth. But yeah, overall, if you've seen one of their matches, you've seen them all. This was too long, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's Ian versus Axel Rotten.
I must note that Ian already had the sides of his head shaved completely bald.
Yeah, wasn't even much left to cut and shit.
This nigga had a tuft of hair on his head. Axel gets the scissors and shaves him down all patchy and shit. And throws the hair into the crowd, which has blood on it.
Oh, man, yeah. Gee, thanks, Axel, for the HIV and shit.
Ian, not to be outdone, grabs a paint tray, hits Axel in the back, beats him to obliterate. And then Ian grabs the scissors and starts gouging out Axel's eye.
That's just poor sportsmanship right there.
Molyneux tried to intervene, but he gets swatted away because he's a pansy. I bumped it up to a dud. Ian then leaves the ring and, in a smacking of irony, throws a trash can into the ring. Ian Rotten, philosopher of ECW. I dub thee Arcabledes. So, Dino send off Jobber. So Shaw starts off with the shine. Dino send off gets the heat with a post on the outside. He starts working his shoulder. Shaw come back. So now Shaw's a jobber and he's fighting a beat up guy.
Yeah.
So the jobber beats the beat up guy with a brain buster for the win. Negative infinity. Your thoughts?
Man.
Moving on. So we have the ECW World title. Shane Douglas, the champ, versus the Sandman with Woman. So before we get into the huge debacle that is the click match all in and of itself.
Yes.
Joey gives a ton of exposition for the home viewer. He puts over that Shane Douglas is a heel. He puts over that Hack is a heel. But they're both different types of heels. Shane represents the traditional heel. Sandman represents this new type of heel. He'll take the L's for the greater good. Woman paired up with the Sandman, recounted by us. Extreme Retro Review, number 65. May 17th, 1994.
You're welcome, by the way, people.
That she would take him to heights he had never seen. He went from Goof Tommy Cairo to Putz Tommy Dreamer to Cactus Jack, and now he's rubbing shoulders and trading shots with the living legend Terry Funk. Terry Funk.
The living jackass.
They took him and put him on the bubble for like 6 months. And now finally, he's in a heel program with the champ, who has his babyface fans, who has shown this character development with Cactus Jack and, the smattering of a three-dimensional character. So you can cheer Shane Douglas on more accounts than he was just a member of none other than Hot Stuff International, but the Dangerous Alliance.
You got that shit right. Screw the Dangerous Alliance part, though.
You talk about Shane Douglas, who single-handedly destroyed Earth niggas with attitudes.
Sure did.
Took his new belt, defended it against the likes of Too Cold Scorpio, the All-American Ron Simmons, the new and old Tully Blanchard, Marty Jannetty. So while he's a heel, he has his fans. You're emotionally invested into the character, and it works because of that.
Come on, somebody.
So Hack wants woman to slap Shane, but she won't.
Stupid bitch.
The cane was banned from ringside, but Sandman makes her go get it. She gives Shane the cane. He nuts the Sandman
Unbelievable.
and rolls him up to retain the title. I gave it 1 star. Your thoughts of the match?
First, these hoes ain't loyal. Second of all, I hate that it didn't go on last. Third of all, I hate that it was clipped to shit. I think I've said all that at the beginning and shit. I thought the woman turn was very intriguing and shit, especially since it's kind of no secret she had kind of, said, shown an interest in Shane, trying to get a new 4 Horsemen going and shit. So to see that she hadn't completely abandoned that idea and kicked Sandman to the curb to join forces with him, and the fact that, she's married, but now it appears that they're going to be having an affair and shit. So that part I find pretty intriguing and shit, and I look forward to see where it goes. And woman's titties looked very, very delicious and shit. Delicious.
I know you draw discrepancies with the world title not going on last.
Yes.
But the word you just gave beckons you to trust the process.
What word was that I just gave?
No, just everything that you said.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, well, I mean, it's their promotion. They can do what they want to do, I guess.
Sandman with the boo-boo face. He's smoking a squally.
It's probably one lonely squally.
The seeds of the babyface turn have been planted. He gives a nice promo, being encouraged by women to beat up Peaches with a cane. What do you think he's gonna do to you? It's gonna be Shane and woman. You better bring every woman's activist. And he takes a puff of the squally and he says, "What a drag."
Oh, shit.
Shane with the rebuttal Flair-esque promo. He remembers taking Sandman for a ride, and woman's long fingernails after the lights went out. Fireworks! I said, right. They cut the camera scene with Sandman. It's completely LOL. Hacks another victim of Shane Douglas's rhetoric. He rambles some more about their rematch. Woman says, I got you when you were at your most vulnerable. Always remember, she's the brains and the power of the operation. And don't you ever forget it. Shane laughs and says, what else you got to say about that? To which I say, stay tuned.
Oh shit.
So finally, we have the main event, the three-way dance. The Public Enemy versus Taz and Rick Steiner, and the ECW World Tag Team Champions, the Crippler and the Shooter. The Enema come into the ring, waving their hands in the air like they just don't care.
Yeah, for a fat little minute too. It's like they was doing a concert or something.
They go into the ring, they kept putting their arms down. So the fans will put their arms down. And then Rocco will put his arms back up like, yo, keep waving, motherfuckers.
I'm like, oh shit, dude. All right.
This motherfucker's half getting blown up before the match even starts. They go out into the crowd and give a fat black kid a Public Enemy shirt. I don't think he was in on it.
You don't think so? You don't think that was wow? I think that's the first time in all the shows we've done, you actually thought something that happened in a wrestling context was a shoot and shit.
Yeah, it's one of the very few instances because his body mannerisms, I kept looking, I kept rewinding going, is he working? I mean, he's a Smart fan, but he's black. There's so very few of us.
Probably didn't know what to expect when they walked up on him.
Right. I thought he was about to go, he was probably about to shoot him, you know what I'm saying?
Or they know he knew that they're fags and he didn't want them to try no gay shit and shit. Like wait a minute, you know I like bitches now. I'm big. Wait a minute. Why I gotta take my shirt off? Oh man, you on that Terry Funk? Oh, you're not on that Terry Funk shit. All right. Oh, why did you say you're trying to give me a T-shirt, motherfucker? I thought y'all was trying to do that shit y'all did in jail and shit.
Shout out to Cutie Pie Joey Styles.
Yeah, you never know with them motherfuckers, man.
Suplex City to start. On the champs and the chumps. 20 minutes of high impact stuff, no rhyme or reason. Just two guys come in to fight, four guys outside. Swap, switch, like it's Martin Lawrence, and he's the DJ at a house party.
Oh shit. Switch!
Taz is gonna do the job. Cause Rick Steiner didn't come in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, take the KSR transaction and do a job. Rick Steiner doesn't lay down for anybody. So Taz does the job in one of the few clean pinfalls in Taz's career in ECW. They just keep suplexing though. And the next 3 to 5 minutes is complete hilarity. Nobody is in the same library, let alone the same page.
Beautiful.
The double suplex spot is complete what the fuck. LOL. I spaz out until Rocco goes through a table. But on repeated viewing, it was a pretty good match. Crippler did a lot of shit in and out the ring. Shooter started mocking Sabu is what woke me the fuck up upon original viewing of this show.
Oh yeah, his lame attempt at trying to show some personality and shit by hopping on a bandwagon. Yeah, too little, too late. Mastinko.
They double team Johnny. And he counters into a double DDT. Rocco immediately runs up to the top, for the drive-by on the shooter, for the win, and your new ECW World Tag Team Champions, the Public Enemy. The idiots do the hip-hop hooray, but Taz rushes the ring. He calls for another suplex on Shooter, but Crippler cuts him off. LOL. Rick Steiner and Taz fight the former champs to the back, and the house party starts over until the Pit Bulls run in and beat up the champs to obliterate.
Yes.
I give it 2 stars. HW, your thoughts?
My thoughts, so, let me see here. What the fuck happened? It was something that I want to speak on and shit. Oh, first, did Taz almost kill Rick Steiner with that German suplex of the Public Enemy and shit?
Yo, that spot, I watched that shit 11 times.
I watched that, and I watched Rick Steiner like afterwards and shit, and where he like basically like didn't move and shit. And I guess he must have told Malenko he was cool and shit, because Malenko started trying to work on him and shit, but then he no-sells the shit. So then I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck is going? Like, he looked fucked up.
All right, so the double suplex into each other was shoot botched.
So it's like, oh, this will be real cool. Let's do this real quick. And when nobody ain't know who was gonna be and shit, I got you.
So Rick Steiner, the only thing I can think of is because he shouldn't have showed. He no-sold everything the entire match up until this point. So this had to be a shoot. So he's like, oh shit, I'm fucked up. I'm trying to go back to GTL.
Oh shit.
Wiggle your big toe. Okay.
Oh shit.
Rough. He gives the, you know what I'm saying, the high sign to Malenko, or should I say, the shooter.
Yeah, Mastinko.
They start working, but since Rick Steiner no-sold everything up until that point, he has to over no-sell everything after that. Because he's a legit tough guy and badass. So you can't go in the back, after you just got fucked up and possibly got a stinger. And it's to a bunch of 25 a night guys.
Oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit looked crazy. He was just sitting there in his wrestling pose and shit, you know what I'm saying? And Malenko putting the boots to this motherfucker and shit, and he still look fucked up and shit, but he just, you know what I'm saying, like, ain't shit phasing, then Malenko leave him alone and shit, and he's still there for a second and shit. Shit was just, I'm like, dang, Taz fucked him up for real. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see it, but I haven't watched past. I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't see Rick Steiner no more and shit.
I mean, like, check this out. Like, how do you go from legit badass to getting fucked up, possibly, by some green boys? You gotta go back to the locker room. You might have somebody like Donnie Allen challenge you to a fight and shit. Your neck fucked up. You gotta no-sell that shit. Now you ain't a badass no more. Oh.
I mean, it's not like he, said he took a body slam and got fucked up. He did get a fucking Public Enemy just thrown onto him unexpectedly.
My dude, it's a work, but it's a shoot.
Hey, when works go wrong.
No, I'm talking about the badass shit, the tough guy backstage shit. Like, it's a work, but it's a shoot.
Oh, so there is some toughness to the...
But it's a work.
I got you. Like how some of this is a shoot, but it's a work.
But it's a shoot.
Right. I'm with you.
The show just goes off. 16 minutes early.
Yeah. It's a lot of dead space on mine.
Thanos that bitch. The nigga said.
Yeah. Thanks, Shane.
Overall, for historical purposes only, all supercards are a must-watch. It's not as good as Double Tables or Return of the Funker. It's not a bad show, though. Great matches. The Clip World title is a bummer.
It is.
The cluster with Sabu, stay tuned. But Eddie debuting is awesome. And Raven and Dreamer progresses.
Yeah.
I give it a thumbs up. In a few days after this, the Extreme Retro Review takes you to probably the greatest clip show ever.
Wow.
Until then, life is a work. Make sure you get paid for it. Peace.
Peace.